Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and Nintendo's killing the Wii U and 3DS today. Now if you haven't been following, guess what? If you own a 3DS, if you own a Wii U, then announcement of discontinuation of online services at 4 p.m. PDT at April 8, 2024. Online play and other functionality that uses online communication will end for the 3DS and the Wii U. That also includes online co-op, internet rankings, and data distribution. So yeah, if you're somebody that is playing these old legacy systems, it's dying today. Now obviously, sad as it is, most online services probably won't stay up officially by the end of time. Just because when there's 50 people playing on a server, the game company, the publisher can decide it's probably not worth paying to keep it up. Now I made a video a while back talking about how easy it is to hack the 3DS, and I think all of you should do it, okay? So today I'm going to show you how to hack the Wii U. Now I'm kind of a little worried. I don't want Nintendo to send out its, hit squad after me or anything, but to be fair, I'm not here to teach you about piracy. I'm just here to teach you about hacking the Wii U and getting the most out of a system that even Nintendo will not support anymore, okay? Now the Wii U is a great system, all right? It's got a fair amount of games that are still locked to its actual system. For instance, games like Xenoblade Chronicles X is still locked into the system. Games like Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD are still locked to the system. Wind Waker HD is still locked to the system. So again, if you're somebody that wants to pick up a Wii U, and there's good reasons to, it's actually a pretty interesting system. It's got that whole handheld dual TV-like technology where you can actually have a little gamepad in your hand, play some video games. There are some games that are pretty interestingly made. Games like Deus Ex, Human Revolution that actually work really well by having you control the game with the tablet and having you managing the inventory, reading documents. It's actually pretty innovative for them to handle games this way. Obviously, the problem with the Wii U was Nintendo didn't really have proper third-party support, and they kind of released a PS3 tier console towards a portion of gaming time when the PS4 was launching. So obviously, a little too late, I would say, but ladies and gentlemen, that was kind of the history of the Wii U. This isn't a video necessarily about that. It's a video talking about hacking the Wii U. Now, obviously, preserving a lot of the stuff when Nintendo is taking down their servers is a bit of an interesting thing to jump down to. For instance, there is something known as the Spot Pass Archival Project. Now, if you don't know Spot Pass, basically it's the ability for you to have your 3DS in sleep mode, and you can just walk around and basically collect data as you walk around from other 3DSs or directly from Nintendo themselves. So, for instance, if you're on the 3DS, you can get access to the Street Pass Me Plaza, and you can get access to Mario Kart 7 Ghost data, special Pokemon events, and of course, access to certain DLC if you play games like New Super Mario Bros. 2. And there are guides to tell you how to actually dump your Street Pass data, even if you have a modded system or an unmodded system. And of course, you can see that the total amount of dumps right now are 11,828 for the 3DS and 5,141 for the Wii U. So quite important for people. Again, a part of game preservation is to preserve as much of the experience as you realistically can, right? And that means every aspect of it, right? So if you want to preserve things like the Spot Pass, so future generations of gamers can experience what gaming was like in this specific era of time, it's preserved and accessible for them. Now, if you want to play games online with the Wii U even after they've been taken down officially, and this goes for the 3DS, you get access to things like the Pretendo Network, which is a free and open source replacement for Nintendo servers for both the 3DS and the Wii U, allowing online connectivity for all. And of course, it's still in progress, but they're 50% of the way there for you to be playing Mario Kart 7 with the boys, Super Mario Maker for the 3DS and the Wii U with the boys, and so on and so forth. And if you just want to chat up with your homies on the Wii U, you got 100% access to it right now. So if you want to get access to the Pretendo Network, it's actually so easy to do. All you do is go to their docs, install, and you can get this thing working on the Wii U officially, or even an emulator like CMU. So you can have emulator to actual hardware interactions, which I always thought was really super cool. But of course, if you want to go down it, you can follow all their steps. This isn't a video necessarily for that. That being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes of hacking the Wii U, okay? Now, because Nintendo doesn't support the system anymore, I think it's totally fair game for you to hack your system and do what you need to. And why would you want to hack a Wii U in the year 2024? Well, a lot of reasons. A, you get access to playing games on the Wii U the way that God intended them to be, with the gamepad and whatnot. You also get access to a original Wii system by hacking a Wii U. And that's what I think is super cool, all right? There is a serious shitload of backwards compatibility you get access with this system. You want to play some 3DS games locked up to the big computer, to the big TV? You get access through the Wii U. It's got a serious amount of emulation available. Hell, some of my favorite videos on this channel where I play the Call of Duty DS versions were recorded entirely on a hacked Wii U. So this thing has a lot of value if it comes to playing not just Wii U games, but classic Wii games like Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition, or playing games that are emulated like Chrono Trigger, like Earthbound, like anything. So if you're somebody that wants to get some life out of the system, and again, the best part about the gamepad Wii U is you can take this gamepad and you can take it over to bed or some other part of your house within reason and just play games from the comfort of your couch, your bed, or whatever. It's seriously like the proto Switch before the Switch actually came out, as you know. So I want to give a big shout out to the Wii U Hacks Guide, okay? So I'm going to be using this as sort of a baseline, and I want to just stress by saying, okay, videos like this are cool if you're a visual learner, but it's always recommended you go to their actual page and just read. So they say before starting, look, you can actually brick the Wii U. Every time you modify your system, there is always the potential for an unrecoverable brick. It's rare, but it's still a possibility. So follow all directions exactly. So to get this working, you need to have a Wii U basically on the latest firmware. That means 5.5.6 for North America and 5.5.5 for every other region. The way you check this is going into your system settings, and you'll find usually there on a blurb, you'll see the actual system version of your Wii U software. Now, what you need is an SD card, and about a 32 gigabyte card will usually just be fine. You'll need a computer to actually do SD card file management, and of course a Wii U with internet access to install payloads and whatnot. So the way that they got this working is if you have a legacy setup, which I'm going to assume most of you guys watching this don't, make sure to follow either of these guides to properly uninstall or update the actual firmwares. Otherwise, you could actually brick your system. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go into Continue to Aroma, which is what we're going to be using to actually start the hack. So the first thing you want to do is you want to download a tool known as GUI Format, which basically allows you to stick an SD card in and format, and you want to follow exactly these directions, okay? You want to format it as 32 kilobytes with the allocation unit file size of 32,768. You want to format it, and this is very important, to FAT32. If you don't do this, the SD card won't be read properly and you won't be able to progress further than this step. You also don't want to label the SD card Wii U because it's going to cause serious issues for the Wii U to understand file pathing, so just don't do any of those steps. Now, at this moment in time, you go to the Aroma website by clicking over here, and over here in the Aroma Beta Cafe, you want to effectively download Aroma, and you want to make sure you check all of these. By the way, read all this information. And once you're here, you want to make sure you download NAND Dumper, which is very important. That's going to be a big part. What you see in gray is basically the actual Aroma. You need that in order to actually hack the Wii U. But these are all optional installations. So for instance, you want to make sure you have the NAND Dumper to back up your Nintendo Wii U's NAND so you don't, in the event that something breaks, you can at least recover. And then, of course, you can download extra things like plugins and modules. So at this point, just click these two green buttons and then go back to the Wii U Hacks Guide. And inside here, you're also going to download the payload installer. And then, of course, save this somewhere on your system. And then we're going to copy these to our SD card. Now, once that's done, you're going to open up the Wii U SD card and you're going to extract from those payloads and the base Aroma folder, the Wii U folder, to the root of your SD card, okay? So on the actual home of the SD card, it should be just the Wii U folder. And when you drop in these files, they should automatically merge if you're on Windows or Linux. I believe Mac will ask you if you want to merge things. Just merge all of these and make sure the root of your SD card is empty. Now again, a sample layout of this will look like this. If this is the root of your SD card, all you should see is a Wii U folder. Clicking on this folder should take you to an apps folder, an environment folder, a payloads folder, and the payload
ELF and payload RPX file. So as long as it looks like this, you're fine. And they also provide a directory tree that you can refer to just to make sure you haven't made any mistakes or you put a folder out of place. If this isn't proper, then this will not work going forward. So make sure the layout matches what I'm showing you.
You're going to take the SD card, you're going to put it into the Wii U around the front of the actual, like the only SD port that I know. You're going to actually fire up your Wii U, go into the internet browser, and go to a website known as wiiuexploit.xyz.
Now, because of the Wii U's browser user agent, you should be auto-redirected to the actual exploit page, and you should see the words run exploit. Now, at this moment in time, all you effectively want to do is hold that blue button and also hold the B button down on your Wii U gamepad. Now, if this does result in a crash, a white screen, or any issue, then please go back and reset your browser settings and keep attempting until you get to this payload launcher screen on your main TV.
Once you get to the choose your payload screen, what you want to do is you want to fire up the NAND dumper. And when you get to the NAND dumper, this allows you to back up the Wii U's NAND, so if things break, you can actually reset. So in this situation, you want to make sure you select these options. Dump SLC must be set to yes. Dump SLCC MPT must be yes. Dump MLC should be optional. OTP should be yes. And CPROM should be yes. Once you hit A, your whole NAND dump will start to happen, and you can just walk away, brew yourself a coffee, sniff in some of that aroma, I guess you could say, and come back. And when it's done, take that SD card out of your Wii U, put it in your PC, and you want to copy that SLC bin, SLCC MPT bin, CPROM, OTP, and if you made a full backup, then basically every single MLC bin part, I didn't do that, to a backup drive or somewhere on your system. I would recommend if you have a cloud storage, just stick it up there. So in the event that you need it, you can quickly download and reset your Wii U, okay? These may be some big files depending on how big your backup is and how much you want to back up. Now in the next situation, you want to install Payload Loader, okay? Now that you have everything backed up, what you're gonna do is put your SD card back into your Wii U, go to the web browser, and launch the exploit that you once did to get into the NAND dumper.
And what's most important is to hold that X button to actually get into this environment, okay? This time the button is different, so you want to see this screen and then launch Aroma.
Okay. Now it may warn you that there is a update folder existing, and that's normal. Just keep on hitting A to continue.
And then once you get to this screen where it asks you about, where you want to launch into, go to the Wii U menu, and inside the Wii U menu, you'll find a new button on the home screen, and this will be this big A button. You want to hit that A button because that is the payload installer. And that's where we're going to install the payload loader into the health and safety information app on your Wii U. So if you absolutely need that information, right, for whatever reason, please don't continue any further. But if you're willing to nuke it, this is how you get this payload installer going.
Go to the payload installer, and it'll basically tell you they're going to install the payload in the health and safety information app. So again, press the A button to install an update, and then you'll basically be asked to, hey, you want to do it? Just hit install, press A, let it go through, and then hit A to shut down the console. Now, at this moment in time, Aroma is basically installed. All you have to do is go to the health and safety information app and it'll launch Aroma. But you probably want to make sure that it auto boots so you don't have to go through all these extra steps. Just make it really simple. So start your console and go into the actual Wii U menu. Go to the health and safety information app, launch the Aroma environment, and then press A to go into the Wii U menu. Once you're there, go to the payload installer, press A, and then go to check, go to boot options, and then you'll be asked if you want to switch the boot title. So press A to select that switch to payload loader. And once that process has started, select A to shut down the console. And what it'll mean is that the payload launcher now will now be, running on every single boot up. So anyways, now that you've got a hacked Wii U, the actual ability to play around with the system has greatly expanded. So you can get access to a lot of your older games, you can install them and sideload them, so you don't need to be switching around discs as often as you could imagine. And this makes it so that the Wii U, which once was a completely unsupported system, and the ability for you not to actually be able to even purchase games through the Nintendo storefront, allows you to at least back up games and play a whole library of titles that unfortunately have been lost to time, okay? Games like Twilight Princess HD are some of the best ways to play this classic game underneath the Wii U. Games like Xenoblade Chronicles X, one of the best RPGs ever made, are absolutely revitalized just by following this step. But it doesn't really have to end there. You see, if you have a Wii U, you basically also have another Wii title as well. So hacking that has been its own tier of fun as well. So hacking the original Wii, the virtual Wii, within the Wii U allows you access to playing, again, just Wii games as well. And if you have a good old-fashioned Wii with a nunchuck, especially the Motion Plus adapter, you can play games like Skyward Sword, Red Steel 2, multiple games directly on your Wii U device as well. But even then, it doesn't end over there either. You can actually plug in GameCube emulators within the virtual Wii and play GameCube titles. Games like Need for Speed Most Wanted, games like Super Mario 1000-Year-Old Door, using emulators like Nintendo that allow you to play the game with an actual GameCube controller, or you can actually have things running with the Wii U gamepad. I'm not joking when I tell you the amount of fun that you could have with a fucking Wii U is absolutely just, it's insane. And the thing is, these systems, from what I understand, they're not too pricey based on what I've seen in the market, at least enough for it to not be worth getting. So if you want to experience the Nintendo Wii U game library, you want to experience the fun of the Wii U, it's still there. It's a system that holds up to this day. And especially if you have kids around, you can absolutely have a lot of fun with them with the Wii U as well, in my opinion. Now, that also said, for me, this isn't super duper practical, and I think ever since the launch of the Steam Deck, I can emulate a lot of these Wii U titles like Xenoblade, like Wind Waker, directly on the Steam Deck, and same with 3DS stuff, or even DS games. So while this is a fun thing to do, I think at the end of the day, if you are somebody that has money to spend, whether it be on the Wii U, it probably might be more worth it picking up the Steam Deck just for emulation, and that goes for like any other system. I just think for practicality's sake, this is more of an experiment that I think holds up really well. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hacking a Wii U, it's about as fun as you can imagine. And you know what? Since Nintendo don't care anymore and they've already abandoned these systems completely, I think there is no moral issue with hacking the Wii U, especially if you just want to preserve games and experience a system that, again, has now been abandoned and it's now legacy. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a good piece of gaming history, and thankfully the community for these systems are so alive that they've kept them reasonably preserved for time to come. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.